Hey guys, so over the past several months, multiple prominent Christian leaders have passed away. And the honest truth is, each one of them has left behind what I would call a complicated legacy. And when I say complicated legacy, what I mean is there were mixed reviews. People had a variety of feelings when they heard that these men had passed away. They had a variety of feelings about how these men had lived their lives. And the legacy they left behind was complicated in that way. Some people, of course, were sad to see them go. They thought they had lived great lives and they wanted to hear more from them, and they were sad to see them go. Others were kind of in the middle and didn't really have strong feelings either way. But there was a group that had very strong feelings and were glad to see them gone. Some went so far as to celebrate online, post videos of themselves dancing. And we can talk about how that's messed up and that's uncalled for and inappropriate, and you can't do that. Regardless of how you feel about someone, you can't do that. But I don't want to get lost in that right now. The reality is that did happen. These men did leave behind complicated legacies. Some people were glad to see them go. And that's not really up for debate. That did happen. And honestly, I'm a little hesitant to talk about this, to post this, to record this, because it's been done to death. But I've been thinking about it so much. I kind of wanted to share a few of my thoughts with you about legacy, about the kind of legacy I want to leave behind and how we can do that. Because I do not want to leave behind a complicated legacy. I've seen it. Now we've seen that it can happen. It happens often. So let's talk about legacy. Like and subscribe, please and thank you. So I don't have a park near my house. I do have a cemetery near my house, and we like to go for walks there. It's normal. There's a nice path. There's people walking their dogs and running there all the time. It's not creepy and weird. It's just a nice place to walk. And there's a headstone in there that I've noticed many times. The headstone belongs to a man named John. John lived his life and then died. And then 100 years and 11 days passed, and then I was born. Almost 100 years to the day. And I think about John pretty often. And I'm pretty sure I'm one of the only people that thinks about John anymore. The reality for John is that he is completely forgotten. It's possible a few people, but almost definitely nobody even knows he ever existed. However, John's legacy still lives on. I haven't looked into it or anything, but it's very possible that John's great-great-grandson or granddaughter is still alive and well and doing stuff on this earth. It's possible that they could even be about my age, actually, which is interesting. Now, this person, let's just call them John the Fifth for fun. It's possible that John the Fifth is out doing stuff, interacting with people. And the truth is, the way he treats people is directly impacted by the way John, the original John, lived his life. Because John the Fifth lived his life because of how his father treated him, because of his father treated him, his father before him, and then John before him. Eventually, everything we do is forgotten. Eventually, our name is forgotten. Eventually, our legacy is nothing except the way people treat people because of the way we treated people. Eventually, what we leave behind is a legacy of how people treat people because of how we treated people. That is John's legacy. And I don't know how he lived his life. I don't know what he accomplished in his life. Maybe a lot of great things, maybe not at all. I don't know. But John's legacy now is how people are living because of how he treated people. And the reality for these men who have recently passed away is their legacy is complicated because of how they treated people. Now, I'm not going to name any names because I don't think that's the right thing to do. But something I do notice, a commonality between each one of these men that have left behind these complicated legacies. From what I can tell, their legacy became complicated because they allowed what they were doing to become more important than who they were becoming. They allowed what they were doing to be more important than who they were. I think they became solely focused on the things they were trying to build. Book sales became more important than how they treat people. Attendance at their events or churches became more important than the way they treated people. Going viral became more important than how they treated people. Allegiance to a certain group became more important. Amassing power became more important than the way they treated people. What they were doing became more important than who they were becoming. What they did became more important than who they were. And the honest truth is, each one of them became successful. They sold a lot of books. They made a lot of money. They were the keynote speaker at events. Their churches were huge. They had podcast opportunities. They had positions of power. They had the prestige. They had everything they wanted. They accomplished a great many things of what they wanted to. But in the end, They left behind a complicated legacy. In the end, none of that matters. Because now, all that is left is how people are treating people because of how they treated people. It doesn't matter what we accomplish. It doesn't matter if we sell a ton of books. It doesn't matter if we have the biggest church, if we have the biggest events, if we go the most viral, if we have the most followings, if we sell out the arenas. It doesn't matter. If the way we live our life causes people to treat people poorly, then we leave behind a complicated legacy. If the way we treat people now causes other people to treat people a certain way, we leave behind a complicated legacy. And that's what I've been thinking about so much, is what kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? And the honest truth is everyone's legacy is a little bit complicated. When I'm gone and I'm nothing but a coffee can with my name scribbled on the side, I'm sure my kids will tell you stories about things about me that were not great. I have no doubt there will be plenty of embarrassing stories. They can tell you all of the mistakes I made, all the times I didn't live up to the man I wanted to be. I'm sure they can tell you plenty of those, even now. But I hope the way I treated people is very uncomplicated when I'm gone. I hope the way I want other people to treat people is very uncomplicated when I'm gone. I hope my legacy is very clear. I hope it's very uncomplicated. I hope they know that I tried to create more love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control in the world. I hope they know I wanted people treated with dignity and respect and kindness. I hope that is very uncomplicated. Sure, there will be plenty of things to say about me when I'm gone, but I hope the legacy I leave behind is very uncomplicated. And I think the way we do that is by continuing to focus on who we want to become rather than what we're trying to accomplish. That we continue to focus, that we keep focusing on how we treat people. How do we want other people to treat people because of how we treated them? Are we modeling that for them? Are we treating people in a way that sets them up for success, to become the people they want to become? But I hope that's the legacy that outlives me. Someday, my great-great-grandkids will be walking around, and their behavior will be directly impacted by the way I treat my kids and my grandkids and the people around me. Eventually, that's the legacy. Eventually, that's all that's left of us, is how do people treat people because of how we treated people. Honestly, I think these men are now a cautionary tale. This is what can happen. Even if you talk about Jesus a lot, this is what can happen. You can leave behind a complicated legacy if you're not living it out, if it's not real for you, if you're not trying to become the man you keep talking about, if we allow what we accomplish, what we build, to be more important than who we are. Sadly, these men did leave behind a complicated legacy. Doesn't matter how you felt about them, doesn't matter which side you land on it, the legacy's complicated. There were mixed reviews at the end of their life. Some people danced. And again, not appropriate, but it happened. I hope nobody is glad to see me gone. I hope my legacy is very uncomplicated. Book sales cannot be more important than how we treat people. Selling tickets cannot be more important than how we treat people. Going viral cannot be more important than how we treat people. How we treat people cannot stop being important. It has to matter. How we treat people has to matter. It always has to matter. That has to be the primary thing we're working on. And I think if we focus on that, then our legacy can be as uncomplicated as legacies can be. All right, guys, I'm going to leave the comments on this one. I'm going to trust you not to get too political down there. Maybe just leave a comment about what you want your legacy to be, about what you're going to be focusing on, about how you want people to be treated, about how you want people to treat people because of how you treated them. What do you want to be putting more of into the world? What do you want your legacy to be? Like and subscribe if you haven't. I'll talk to you soon.